All right, traders, I am back in the green. Ended up making a 40% return within the first 30 minutes of market open trading Roblox put options. Those puts absolutely printed. That was the #1 play within the video that I posted yesterday, and that was a swing trade. I actually bought those put options yesterday right before the market closed at 3:55 p.m. That was a swing trade. I was already up like 20% before the market even opened, and then once it opened, those contracts shot up to nearly 50% return. I sold for a 40% profit, and that watch list had plenty of lucrative money trading opportunities. We had the triple BY first red day put options mentioned. We had the Envis play mentioned. We had Ford. We had AMC and also the SPY. That was a phenomenal video posted yesterday. I am going to continue to keep you up to date on the best setups at the best prices. I'm going to show you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. I'm going to share with you these trading plans. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you are serious about becoming a better trader. Let's get right into it. So before we get into the top setups that I'm watching, which is going to be the following stocks: AMC, Triple BY, BBIG, Duncan, Ford, a new one, ISPO, currently running in after hours, MULN, Envis, Neo, Roblox, Space, SPY, Tilray, and Tesla. I'm going to be sharing with you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. This is going to prepare you to become self-sufficient and to make money within the stock market. Make sure you smash the like button. I got to give a quick shout out to the Team Traders Society right here. You guys are absolutely crushing it. 34% return. You guys killed it today. 34% return on the Roblox puts. 63% return on the Roblox puts. You guys are absolutely crushing, man. Also played another Roblox, 22%. Round 3 on Roblox puts, taken 30 to 40% each rundown prior. Very nicely done. UVX options, $14,000 profit. Nicely done, Alex. 21% return on Ford. We mentioned the Ford put options yesterday within the watch list. Poor Kid Investing, he joined about 3 weeks ago. He is absolutely crushing it. I'm telling you, man, his results have been very, very good. I believe his portfolio is now up over 30% within the first 3 weeks of the program, which is some amazing results. So keep up the great work on that using the PCP strategy. Alex ended up making 19K on the day. Big shout out NIO. That was another one mentioned within the watch list. Played NIO puts right here, 177% return. That is just amazing. That's insane results right there. 48% return on AMC puts. You guys absolutely crushed it. Big shout out to everyone within the chat. SPY puts 38%, SPY puts 123%. Like, these results were absolutely crazy today. You guys absolutely killed it, and that's how you got to do it. You got to be self-sufficient. You got to trade the best setups at the best prices. You got to go with your gut. You got to go with what your intuition says. So let's get into the top setups now. So let's start off. We're gonna end the video with SPY, discussing the market analysis. Let's start off with Tesla. Tesla's going to be very, very simple. Here's the deal with Tesla. There's going to be some very lucrative trading opportunities both ways on this, because the gap close reversal strategy, the PCP strategy, works both ways. So make sure you set these price alerts. This is going to be very simple. There's a gap to fill on Tesla right here at $1,222.09. And there's also a gap to fill on Tesla right here at $1,010.64. Right now, it's in the middle of that overall channel. It's kind of like make it or break it, right? It's trying to figure out which gap it wants to fill. With this current market and it being a bull market right now for the micro, it is more likely that we could see a gap fill to 1,022 before we fill this gap right here. It's definitely more likely. As of now, in terms of where I stand on this, I'm not really interested in trading in between trying to play for a gap fill. What I'm trying to do on Tesla is very simple. Set 2 price alerts. Set a price alert right here at or below 10.10.64. Once we get to 10.10.64 and it starts showing signs of a reversal, it starts bouncing, it starts forming bullish confirmations, it's going to be a great dip buying opportunity for a micro scalp. If it forms bullish candlesticks on the daily chart, then it will be a swing trade. That won't be determined until right before the market closes. So anything before then is a day trade. It's a scalp. Now, in terms of put opportunities, there's going to be an amazing put opportunity when Tesla gets to 1,222.09. I'm telling you, I had puts on this day right here. They were up over 400% within like 2 hours. It was absolutely phenomenal. I literally bought puts on Tesla towards the top when it was at 1180. I remember that trade. That was one of my best trades. And with that being said, this is going to be another phenomenal put option opportunity. So the goal for this would be is that we go to 1,022.09, and then there's still a gap to fill below, and we play for that gap to fill below at 10.10. I strongly believe both of those gaps are going to fill. So once they fill, whichever one fills first, we play for the side of the reversal and play for that other gap to fill. So if this one fills right here, we play for the reversal for this gap to fill. If this one fills right here, we play for the reversal for this gap to fill. Both ways, long and short. Tesla's very simple. Don't trade in between. Trade the best setups at the best prices. Those trades are going to be phenomenal setups. I'm waiting for those price alerts to trigger. Everything I do is premeditated. These are the best setups. This is all you need. All you need is a couple of these a month and you're set. You'll be set, man. I'm telling you. Let's just stick to the best setups. Tilray is beginning to look bearish. We had another gap close reversal resistance form at 850s. I would say once this cracks 8, it's really going to start to sell off. If we can crack this at $8, I think the puts will really start printing on that. If we can crack 8, I can see a pullback to about 740, 750 within that range. That setup isn't that great though. It's not such a great setup. One setup that I'm really beginning to like is space. Space is looking very interesting here. You can see right here, we got a lot of resistance on the space here at $11. Big downside potential, big downside potential. We are now at a triple top and it is still failing to break out and turn $11 into support. I do believe for the long term, and I'm still interested in doing this, for the long term, I think this company is going to do well at the current price. I think it's a good price. I'm not buying into it yet for the long term, but we are at a make it or break it level. And as of now, it is a resistance level. So what I want you to be aware of in terms of space, there's a gap to fill at $9.76. That gap is going to fill if $11 cannot break out, turn into support, starts to react as a resistance like it has been now for the past 2 days. So keep that in mind. There's going to be a micro put opportunity setting up. And it's also a gap close reversal. There was a gap to fill in space at 1074. Once it filled the gap, started having a reversal. So it's going to come back down to fill that gap below. This gap close reversal strategy is killer. Plus, we got the bearish confirmation on the daily chart, and we got the triple top. We got the gap close reversal. We got the big downside potential. What more can you really ask for in terms of a chart? This should be a great setup. So, in terms of space, the play is going to be puts. In terms of the levels, 1069 is your new resistance level. If 1069 reacts as a resistance level and it cracks this 1055 level, you're going to want to be in puts to ride this back down to fill the gap below at 976. In terms of the expirations and the contracts we're going with the short-term contracts, the ones that expire the soonest, the quickest, and we're staying at the money. We're staying at the money, or you can go slightly in the money. That's what we're doing. I like to stay at the money. So that's the plan on space. That should be a great setup. Max risk is $11. If this breaks out past 11, it's going to shoot up to fill this gap at 1237, which would be the next best price to buy puts if that were to happen. That's my thoughts on space for a gap close reversal to fill the gap below play. Roblox was a phenomenal setup from the watch list. It had a beautiful gap close reversal. It's coming back down. The chart on Roblox is currently looking pretty bearish, topping out at this key resistance level. As of now, I don't want to really do anything on this one. I'm just sitting on the sidelines right now, but the daily chart is beginning to look bearish on Roblox. I'm going to sit on the sidelines for this one for now. In terms of your make it or break it support level heading into tomorrow, $48. If $48 cracks, we're looking at a nice pullback to $46.30. That's what we're looking at, a quick drop to $46.30 on that one if that level cracks. Daily chart is beginning to turn bearish, failing to break out. NIO is getting interesting. NIO's starting to look interesting here. What I want you to keep in mind in terms of NIO is, see how it has this sideways uptrend, forms this weird candle, and then it just starts to sell off to fill this gap below. It's doing the same thing. It's having this sideways uptrend, forms this weird candlestick. Then it should start to sell off to fill this gap below at 1991. So my thoughts on NIO is very simple, and this should be a good setup. We gotta start to crack, this key level. We gotta take out this $22 level. If $22 can crack That's going to be like your make it or break it level, $22. It should drop to 2160. Once 2160 cracks, that's when it falls off a cliff and really takes a nice dive to about $21. So I'm looking for a first red day on NIO. The chart isn't looking that bullish at the moment. It's topping out towards key resistance level. I'm seeing a very similar pattern right here. I would say it's due for some downside potential and it's due to fill the gap below. So I'm keeping an eye on NIO puts for the make it or break it key breakdown level below 22. If it cracks 22, the puts should print on the first red day. NIO is a first red day setup, just like how we discussed with triple BY. Puts went crazy on this one. The puts on the day are currently up. It's insane, man. Look at this. The puts are ranging from 500% to 1400% on the day. And this was mentioned in my video yesterday. Nobody talks about this stuff. I told you guys, when triple BY has the first red day, I strictly mentioned this in my video. I literally said the best price you can go short, if you see it, go back to that previous closing price. It turns red on the day. It literally had a gap close reversal at open. We should have had more people on this one. I was more focused on Roblox. This ended up being a better play. But I did mention it within the watch list, and you guys can trade the watch list. I don't want anyone blindly following my alerts or anything like that. I'm going to show you the best setups at the best prices, and you can decide which ones you want to trade. You can also go with multiple ones if you're playing puts for the day. But this one absolutely printed it. Had a gap down. It closed the gap, had a reversal, formed the bearish candlesticks, formed the lower highs, got the new lows. Very, very bearish pattern. The puts absolutely printed. That was a phenomenal first red day setup. And the next first red day setup that I'm telling you about is NIO. That's going to be the next one. This was a phenomenal first red day setup. The puts have already played out. In terms of right now, not too interested in doing anything on this one. One price alert that I do have set is 1618. That's going to be the best dip buying opportunity. The best dip buy level for triple BY is when it gets to 1618. Set these price alerts. These alerts will trigger eventually. And then when they trigger, you'll be able to get in at the best prices before these stocks start popping up on this top gainer list, before they start popping up on people's scanners, right? Because you set your price alerts. You didn't rely on a scanner to trigger something that already had its big move. So that's the thoughts on that. Our next stock is going to be Envis. Envis had a phenomenal gap close reversal today. It had a nice gap down, already played out, and then it shot back up, filled the gap at 555, had its reversal, went back to the lows. So in terms of my thoughts on MVIS, this is not a bullish chart. This is overall bearish. If it cracks $5, you're going to want to get some $5 put options that have a quick expiration and ride this down to about 470. So if it cracks 5, the target would be 470. Try to make a quick 20-30% on those put options. So the next one is going to be MULN. I had someone buying puts on this right before the close. They were trying to swing trade it. I told them, do not do that because it's not having a gap close reversal. Someone was asking me about this in the chat room today. So let me show you a quick technical analysis on why MULN is extremely bullish and why I told people to not buy puts for a swing on this. So you see right here how we have resistance and then big downside potential. It breaks above resistance, it has a breakout, and then as it comes down, it turns this previous resistance into support, which is bullish. And then it breaks above this resistance, has a massive breakout, sells off hard, and then you could see it starts to turn this previous resistance into support, right? So it keeps on turning previous resistance into support. It has a breakout, it has a nice sell-off, and then that sell-off, the bottom of that sell-off has been the previous resistance level, right? So that's bullish. It's very bullish. Now, there was a gap to fill at $3. How did MULN react when it closed the gap at $3? How did this react? You can see right here, this is when it started to fill the gap. Initially, it was having a small pullback, but it was still holding up very well. And then it started breaking out. Then it started breaking out. And then into the close, it started closing strong above the 3. So if it's not having a reversal at 3 and it's breaking out past 315, it's not going to be a gap close reversal. It's going to be very bullish. Another reason is it's turning your previous resistance into support, which is very, very bullish. And it closed above 3. So it's not having a gap close reversal. It's filling the gap, and it's just going to keep going in the same direction it came from prior to filling that gap, which is an uptrend, right? So we would call that a gap close and go, kind of like the opposite of a gap close reversal. So since the $3 level is reacting as a support level, MULN is really on track to fly. The current pattern on this stock has been, whenever it breaks out above its key resistance level, it has a nice little breakout, and then it turns previous resistance into support. So as long as we could stay above 3, we're going to be on track to push to 358. If we go above 358, then we're going to be on track to push to 420. MULN is very, very bullish as long as $3 can hold. This is really going to start to uptrend. This is a very bullish trend right now, and the bulls are clearly winning because they're turning previous resistance into support whenever it breaks out. Previous resistance right here into support, then it breaks out. Right now it's exploding up. It's not having a gap close reversal. It's reacting very, very bullish. So this is currently on track for 358. And then once it goes above 358, we're looking at 420 on MULN. So that's my thoughts on that one. It's looking very micro bullish for the moment. Should continue to uptrend. It typically, when it gaps up like that, it likes to keep on running. So we're looking at some very nice upside on MULN coming here soon. Bullish on that one. We have people playing this one, man. There's this one guy. He's been absolutely killing it. Chris Will. He's been absolutely killing it on MULN. He's been doing he made 12,000 on MULN today. I mean, he's been consistently killing it with that stock. So shout out to him. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. We're very micro bullish. We're looking at more upside for sure. So ISPO is getting a little interesting here. The stock has been beaten down very, very heavily. It's uptrending very nicely in after hours at 1095. We got a lot of volume coming in on the call options for this one as well. We got some volume coming in. A lot of people are starting to play the $10 strike, which was out of the money at the time. So I mean, with that being said, there's a gap to fill on ISPO at $14.23. There's a gap to fill. So I'll see how it reacts towards the 14.23 level. If it reacts as a resistance towards 14.20s, I'll be interested in some put options. I'm telling you, this is going to be a top watch for a gap to fill below play. In terms of right now, it's on a bullish uptrend, just kind of watching, just kind of waiting for an opportunity to buy puts to short this one. But as of now, the trend is fairly bullish. It needs to stay above 10. It really needs to stay above 10 to continue to run. But yeah, the best level for puts would be for the gap fill at 14.23. That'd be the thoughts on that one. Kind of just waiting, kind of just sitting on the sidelines. Ford looks bearish. Looks like it's going to try to fill this gap at 1667. So keep an eye on that for some Ford puts. Duncan looks pretty bearish as well. The setup for this one, I would say, would be like the first red day. Look for the first red day on Duncan to buy puts. Should have a nice red day when it has that first red day. So just pay attention for the first red day. If it's red, if the previous closing price reacts as a resistance on the first red day, right? So when I say first red day, the best way to play the first red day setup is something like this, where triple BY, it gaps down, meaning it's having its first red day, and then you wait for it to shoot back up, and then when it fills the gap, you buy puts, you play for the reversal, and then it gets crushed. Just like with MBIS. MBIS was a first red day setup. It gapped down, wait for it, and then it shoots back up to fill the gap, then it gets crushed. So remember, with first red day setups, the best way to play them is to wait for them to go back to the previous closing price. That tends to be the high of day when they have their first red day, right? So always keep that in mind. BBIG. BBIG, I would say right now for the overall micro, it's not looking too bullish. It looks like we're going to see a pullback within time. So in terms of how this one trades, how I think this can play out, some sideways chop, sideways chop, sideways chop, then it sells off. That's what I'm thinking. Or it just sells straight off. It's going to be one of the two. Most likely sideways chop. In terms of where I think we're heading within time, within a couple weeks, I would say like 2 to 3 weeks, we're heading for this 248 gap fill. I see this going to 248. If you're interested in buying this one, I would wait for the gap to fill at 248. Look for the bullish confirmations down there. I would say within 2 to 3 weeks, this will be at 248. If not, then it's going to fill this gap There's a gap to fill at 359. It almost filled it, had a reversal. 359 will most likely be the micro top if it keeps pushing up. But overall, we're really due for a 250 gap fill on BBIG within a couple weeks. So I'm not really expecting any crazy upside for the next couple weeks on this one. I'm thinking some sideways chop, some spikes, maybe a rip to 359. But overall, I think we're really heading towards that 248. I think we're heading towards that 248 within time. AMC had that first red day. Very nice reversal, had that little gap close reversal. As you can see right here, it gapped down, shot back up towards the previous closing price, had a nice sell-off, right? So always remember that first red day strategy, the PCP. That's such a phenomenal strategy. Find something that is extremely overbought, that had a massive run up for the micro. When it has the first red day, like triple BY, wait for it to go back up to the previous closing price, the PCP gap close reversal strategy, and then buy the puts on the spike, ride it back down for new lows. Just look at how phenomenal that worked out today for AMC, for triple BY, for what was the other one, MBIS. Such a phenomenal strategy with that first red day strategy after a stock has a massive run up. So always keep that in mind. That information right there can really make you profitable. So keep that in mind as well. In terms of right now, here's the deal on AMC. The gap still hasn't filled at 29.44. So here's what I think is going to happen. We're either going to have some sideways chop and it's going to push back up to 29.44. And then if that reacts as a resistance, it's going to be a hard sell off and continue to downtrend. Or we're just going to continue to sell off and fill this gap at 2024. In terms of my current views on AMC stock, I would say that, we're not going to be breaking above this like $34 level anytime soon. I think we're going to be heading to fill this gap at 2024. Before this gap fills, we could potentially have some sideways chop and a spike back to 29.44. But if this can't break above 29.44 and turn that into support within some time, AMC is going to fill this gap low at 2024, which is going to be exciting for traders because I'm telling you guys, AMC is a great stock to use this gap close reversal strategy on. Literally every single oversold gap on AMC that fills has a reversal. I've studied it to a core. It's a great stock for gap close reversals. So what would be even better is, if this gap didn't even fill, and then we can go back down to fill this gap, see signs of a reversal, buy calls, and then ride this back up to 29.44 for a gap fill play. So what I'm waiting for on AMC is for the gap to fill. I'm telling you, this information that I'm giving you, this simple strategy, it works so well. Just look at what I did on PROG stock with that strategy. Nobody was as accurate in terms of the trading strategies and price action analysis. There wasn't one person who was as accurate in terms of my analysis on that stock. And my AMC analysis has been extremely on point as well. One of my first videos on this channel, if you go back, on this day, I was telling people right here on June 1st, I was telling people buy AMC calls. This is about to explode 100% plus. And those calls, I recommended like the far out of the money ones. They went up over 1800% the next day. But anyways, I'm waiting to buy the dip at 2024. 2024 is where I'm planning to buy the dip on AMC. When we fill that gap, it starts showing signs of a reversal. It starts consolidating. It starts holding up. Look for the bullish confirmations and then play for the gap to fill above. That's my thoughts on it. If it shoots back up to fill this gap first at 29.44, that should be a great opportunity for a put option to short AMC. So if it does pop back up to 29.44 before filling this gap below and it's reacting as resistance, it's starting to break down, I will be looking to short AMC stock. So that's my thoughts. That's my analysis. In terms of some of my favorite setups that I'm seeing right now, NIO, the first red day on NIO is going to be one of my favorites. I'm liking space to fill the gap below at 970. Keep an eye on space. ISPO, if we can push to fill that gap in the 1420s, those would be some of my favorites. Duncan's first red day has some potential. And then AMC and Tesla, those key levels, they will hit within time. I'm telling you, when they hit, guys, these are lucrative trading opportunities. There's no excuses, man. That play that I gave out on Roblox yesterday, that was definitely, if you just put $1,000 into those contracts, you would have made more than the entire lifetime cost of the education for Trader Society. So if you do want to join Trader Society, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. That first link, If you want to know what broker I use for trading options, that's going to be the second link in the description as well. But in terms of Trader Society, it's going to be the first link. Make sure to check it out. You will get lifetime access, and it's instant access as soon as you sign up to the live trading streams that I do every single day at Market Open, where you get to watch me trade live, ask me questions live on the spot, to the chat room where you get to contact me and members one-on-one personally. And also, you can chat with members within the chat. You get the real-time trade alerts, entry and exit for the day trades and the swing trades. You also get access to the video educational library where you get to learn the gap trading system, the gap trading strategies that we are consistently using to profit within the stock market using shares and options. So yeah, it's also going to teach you mindset to trading, psychology to trading, and risk management and position sizing. There's a lot more to it. If you want to check it out, it's going to be the first link in the description. It'll explain to you everything that's included within Trader Society and if this is going to be the right program for you. I will see you guys tomorrow at Market Open.